Well, there is rare and then there's unprecedented. We've been telling you just how rare it is that a Clear Creek County deputy remotely supervising an incident was criminally charged for the shooting death of Christian Glass. Experts in police procedure and the law told 9 News reporter Steve Steger there might not be a single other case like this one.
Keep your windows down because we're here to help you.
What we saw months later, Sergeant Kyle Gould was allegedly watching in real time.
Are you on live stream right now? Yeah. Okay.
We hear Deputy Andrew Buin and his partner talk about a live stream on the body camera video the night 22-year-old Christian Glass called 911 for help. The night Deputy Buin eventually broke his window, shot him with beanbag rounds, tased him, and then shot him. No need to show you all of that again. The grand jury indictment argues their supervisor, Sergeant Gould, was watching a live feed of their body cameras.
In this case, there does seem to be a relatively clear argument to be made that it was the decision of Sergeant Gould, who was not at the scene, that led to the death.
Ian Farrell is a law professor at DU. He says the fact that Gould could see it all, including how Glass was acting that night, explains why he was charged.
The fact that there was a live feed going to the decision maker, and so there was sufficient information available to him that a reasonable person would have known making the decision to take this person out of the car would create a substantial risk of him ending up hurt or even killed.
According to the grand jury's indictment, Buin calls Gould on the scene.
I'm here for personal conversation.
And mutes his body camera while they talk. When he sets his phone down, you can see it's Gould on the other end of the line.
It is extremely rare, virtually unheard of in the law enforcement world.
Ed Obayashi is a sheriff's deputy and police tactics expert in California.
You know, in my experience, the officers don't call for permission to break in, as I mentioned, to use force.
The indictment alleges after the phone call, the decision is made.
Gould's already given us authorization. We're just trying everything we can
Double check. I'll stand 5116, and you have a first pop in this window.
Buin checks with Gould on the radio again, then breaks the window.
So far. 116 will be forcing entry.
The beginning of the end.
Steve Steger reporting. Now, neither Obayashi nor Farrell could recall a case where a police supervisor off scene used a live stream to monitor a situation, and that may be key in this case. Farrell says Gould is charged with criminally negligent homicide for authorizing the forced entry. Buin, who was on scene, is charged with second-degree murder.
We now know the name of the person who shot a Denver police officer in the neck while in custody on Monday night. 33-year-old Daniel Cheeseman was pulled over by police about 9 o'clock near Lowell Boulevard in Iowa. DPD says officers searched him and found a gun and some drugs. Police then took him to the downtown detention center. While getting out of the car with handcuffs on, police say Cheeseman pulled out another gun that the police had missed during their search. Investigators say Cheeseman squeezed off a shot, hit an officer in the neck. Several other officers were there, and at least one fired back at Cheeseman, hitting him several times. The officer, who has not been identified, was released from the hospital after being treated yesterday afternoon. Cheeseman is in critical condition. He's still in the hospital. He's being held for attempted murder of a peace officer and on a weapons charge.
Well, RSV is still surging through Colorado, challenging both families and hospitals within our state. Almost 200 kids were hospitalized with the virus just last week, according to the state health department. Since October 1st, there have been more than 1,100 RSV hospitalizations, and at least 90% of those hospitalized have sadly been children. A lot of parents, especially parents with very young children, are now looking closely at those risks, and some have decided to dial back on their holiday plans this year, even skipping that Santa visit. One family shared their decision-making process with 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles.
She's tons of fun, wakes up smiling, happy little camper.
Life has changed a lot this year for Danielle Wallach and her husband David.
We got a beautiful baby girl, beautiful little gift.
Nearly 4 months with baby Camille.
She's very alert, and yeah, she likes to be in all the actions.
And the first holiday season as a family of 3.
She's our #1 priority, so of course it's a hard decision, but keeping her healthy and safe is our #1 priority as a parent.
Surging RSV cases are filling up Colorado's pediatric hospitals, and COVID is still circulating as we enter cold and flu season.
We have been concerned about large groups of people, so travel is included in that, being on a plane and in an airport. So we're not doing large group activities, and we're having sort of smaller groups over to the house and keeping it pretty close for the holidays.
They skipped the out-of-state Thanksgiving this year, and Christmas will be dialed back too.
We're definitely going to set up the tree. We have his parents coming in who are going to play it super safe, specifically the 2 weeks before. And yeah, we'll create some new traditions.
Danielle is not just a new mom.
Yeah, so I'm a gynecologist, so taking care of my patients and keeping them healthy is the utmost priority as well.
She parents from the lens of a healthcare provider.
You know, I always try to offer people evidence-based decision making. I know that some of my decisions are based on emotion because I'm watching out for her, and that may not be the same decision that somebody else wants to make.
She doesn't kind of like to be left, or doesn't nap during the day.
Right?
So she's
Parenting is an exercise in compromise. This holiday season, this family is choosing caution.
So it's kind of sad, but overall I think we're making the right decision.
Jennifer Meckles reporting, and how cute is that baby?
Yeah, right?
RSV is really contagious, and we know how fast germs can spread when little kids are around even more little kids. The state says there has been 332 RSV outbreaks in schools as well as child care facilities.
Well, Twitter's open embrace of misinformation under its new owner, Elon Musk, is taking an even new step now. Musk himself is promoting debunked conspiracy theories. And now Twitter has announced that it's going to drop its COVID-19 misinformation policy. So while the virus was spreading across the country in 2020, Twitter put in a set of rules against disinformation that was resulting in people dying. Over the past 2.5 years, Twitter says thousands of accounts have been suspended for breaking the rules. The current change in policy, saying that COVID misinformation will not be removed, was kind of low-key. The announcement was made in a note on Twitter's website.
About 2 weeks after dozens of Twitter employees in Boulder were laid off, another 38 are voluntarily resigning. Since Elon Musk took over the company, he has slashed about half of the company's 7,500 workforce. In Boulder, 125 employees will leave the company in January, either due to termination or resignation. Majority of the employees who resigned were engineers, according to the company's warn letter. The resignations followed Musk's ultimatum that workers pledge to work extremely hardcore or they leave.
Well, one thing is a cold thing. It's our coldest morning since March the 11th here in Denver with an air temperature of 4 degrees. Our wind chills have generally been below zero on this Wednesday morning, so certainly bundle up as you head outside today. Temperatures will rise into the mid-30s later on this afternoon, though.